Hello BookTube friends, welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and I decided kind of at the last minute that I was going to do the Dewey's 24-hour readathon. Well, I live in Florida and it started at 8 a.m. this morning, and currently it is probably a little after 10 a.m. and the readathon's been going for a couple of hours, but you know, life happens. I started out this morning thinking that I was going to be able to start pretty close to 8 o'clock, and little things just keep getting in the way. But I'm finally sitting down and ready to read, and I thought I would do a little bit of a vlog style video as I go throughout this next 22 hours. And I am probably not going to be home all day. I'm going to be doing some other things, but I am going to try to devote the next few hours to reading, and then I'll be doing some audiobook during the later part of the day. And then I do hope to get up pretty early in the morning and finish out the readathon. I will link below my TBR video, which I did post prior to the readathon, and of course this will not be posted until after it's over. But I thought I would just show you what I am going to attempt to read today. I've got 4 books already started, and I don't think I can finish all of them during the readathon, but I could potentially finish 3, definitely 2, and then accomplish a good portion of the other 2. So the first one I am trying to finish is Founding Mothers. I am currently on page 227 out of 359 pages. I'm on chapter 7, which is the last text chapter, and there's 52 pages of that. There's a total of 133 pages left, but the remainder is notes, index. There's a short section on cast of characters and recipes, so I will be reading through that, but the majority of what's going to be really time consuming is this next 52 pages. So while I'm fresh this morning and more alert, I'm going to get as much of that read as I can. So I'll come back after I've read a good portion of this and let you know how much I got done. So no sooner had I turned the camera off and said I was going to read The Founding Mothers, I realized that I had some laundry to be folded, and so I picked up Land of Painted Caves. I have it on this audio playway from the library, so I just picked it up with my headphones, and I did my laundry, and then I thought, well, while I've got this in my ears, I may as well go ahead and catch up on the dishes and things like that. So I ended up finishing the chapter that I was in, which took about 45 minutes, I think. So I think I ended up completing about 18 pages of this book. The audio is pretty slow, even on the highest speed, but that's okay. If I just keep chinking away at it, I will eventually get done with it. So then I ended up picking this back up finally in the next hour, and I think I only got maybe 10 or 12 pages of this read so far. It's a really slow read, and in between all that, I've been trying to figure out how to post and do the Instagram challenges and still do laundry and you know, feed animals and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, it's been really slow going so far. I'm hoping that I can pick up a little speed this afternoon. So we're about to leave the house. I'm taking Katie to a birthday party, and it's almost an hour away. So Emily and I are just going to hang out in that area. We might go to McDonald's or to a library or somewhere, and I plan on listening to Eldest in the car on the way there and back. I'm going to be in the car quite a bit this afternoon. So when I'm not driving and we are waiting on Katie this afternoon, I will get back into Founding Mothers and hopefully finish chapter 7, which is the last actual chapter in this book. And then I will alternate it with Where the Heart Is, which is a reread. I'm halfway done with it at this point, and I would like to finish this today. It's really a good book, and I'm rereading it because this is our book club selection for May. So I'll check back in a little later on in the afternoon. All right, so Emily and I are right now at Dairy Queen. We dropped Katie off at her birthday party, and Emily and I are going to get some lunch, a late lunch, early dinner, and I'm going to read some of The Founding Mothers while we're here. So it's about 3:45, and Katie has been at a birthday party for a little over an hour, and the party goes until 8. So because it's 45 minutes or more from our house, Emily and I are just staying close by to where the party is, and I figured since I was going to read all day anyway, I can read anywhere, right? Well, the problem is My daughter Emily, who's with me, she has autism, so sometimes it's hard for her to stay anywhere for very long at a time, and we're not at home where it's comfortable, so I thought we were going to be able to sit at Dairy Queen and just sit a while, and I could read, and I did read a couple pages while she was eating, but when she got through eating, she was ready to get up. So now we have come over to the local library, which is open till 5, so we've got a little more than an hour, and it's still kind of warm to sit in the car, so we're going to go on in to the library, and I'm going to sit and read, and I did bring her little portable DVD player so that she can sit in there and watch her movie with headphones. So hopefully that will keep her occupied for the hour that we have left for the library to be open. So I'm taking in Founding Mothers. I'm going to try to get as much of this read as I can while I am, while I'm awake, because once I start getting drowsy in the afternoon and evening, then it's going to be hard for me to read this. So I really want to get this done. But if I need a break, then I will also take in Where the Heart Is. So while we were in the library, I ended up spending more time working on my Instagram challenges than I did actually reading. I think I did read a couple of pages, but I thought I would just show you quickly a couple of the pictures that I took for my Instagram challenges. I know this is not going to come out very clear, but I'm not really sure which cord I'm supposed to use to actually transfer the picture off my phone onto the camera. So this is just the picture on my phone. We were only there for about an hour, and I had gotten behind on a couple of the hourly challenges. So I think I took this one for Shelfie because I wasn't home to take a picture of my own shelf, but I'm standing here in this picture in front of the sale shelves, which are really some of my favorite shelves in a library. I love looking at the sale shelves. Then the hourly challenge after that happened to be library. So since we were in one, I just took this shot with some of the library tables and stacks behind me. It's probably hard to tell from the way I'm showing you this, but anyway, that's what the picture's of. And then the next one was Blanket Fort, and this particular library happens to have this kind of carpeted loft with a fort under it, and it actually goes around. I believe it's 2 or 3 sided with the stairs going up one side. In this picture, my daughter Emily had gone up the stairs, and I told her to stop right there so I could get a picture. And then somehow when I posted it to Instagram, I accidentally cropped off her head. I didn't mean to, but that's the whole picture right there. So this was my picture for Blanket Fort. And so after that, I did sit down and read a few pages before the library actually closed. So it's about 6:30 p.m. here in Florida, and we are halfway through hour 11 of Dewey's 24-hour readathon. This is my first time trying Dewey's. I do a lot of readathons, but I generally stretch them out over a week, and this is kind of tough to try to cram in as much reading as I can into a 24-hour period, because I have certain times of the day when reading goes well for me, and then other times of the day that I have a harder time getting reading done. So right now we're at a park. After we left the library, we came and found this park, which is not too far away, and it's so pleasant here. It's just really beautiful. So we sat here for a while, and I finally got to the halfway point of the last chapter in Founding Mothers. This is such a slow read for me because it's just not fun. It's interesting. It's just really wonderful to learn some of the behind the scenes, lesser known facts about our country's founding and about the women who were in the lives of the founding fathers. But it's just not fun. It is just dry history, really. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't consider this dry because it does have a lot of human interest, but I don't read a lot of history. It's almost like I'm in school and this is required reading for history class. That's kind of what it feels like, because I'm just forcing myself to read it. And I know a lot of people would say, well, don't force yourself to read it. Don't read something you don't enjoy. But I committed to reading all the book club books for this year. This is our one nonfiction book club book for this year. Last year we had 3, and I managed to read all of them, and I enjoyed those actually a little bit more than this one. But this is our only one for this year, and I just feel like I need to read it. So I'll come out of it having learned something, and I've already have learned things and probably relearned things about the founding of our country that I had forgotten. You know, maybe I learned them when I was in school and I've just forgotten them. So it's been great for me to read this. It's a good experience. It's educational and it's expanding my brain and it's good for me, but it's just not quick. So I'm going to read a few more pages in this as long as I can stand it, and then I'm going to get back to Where the Heart Is, which I've read before and I love. So I am excited to get back into this book because I want to finish both of these during the readathon. I've also been working on 2 other books today, audiobooks. All the while that I've been driving today, I've been listening to Eldest, which is the second book in the inheritance cycle. It's the sequel to Aragon, and I'm having a hard time staying with it in my brain. I've had it on in the car, and sometimes my mind will wander. It's not a very particularly exciting part in the story where I am right now, and I'm having a hard time following it, and my mind is wandering. You know, it'll be on, and all of a sudden I will kind of wake up and realize that I have no idea what's happening, and I have to go back and rewind, and I don't have time to rewind, so I need to pay attention. So that is the struggle that I'm having right now with this book. And the other challenge I'm having really is just with social media and trying to keep up with the social media that's involved in Dewey's. I haven't really even been reading and looking at other people's Instagrams and tweets and things like that. I feel like I should, but I'm really kind of new to Instagram, and I just decided I would participate in one of the hourly challenges where you post a picture each hour. And of course, I'm sure you can figure out that I would get a lot more reading done if I didn't have to stop and, you know, take a picture and write a caption and all that. It's taken me a little more time than it probably would some of you. So, you know, if I wasn't doing all of that, I could get more reading done, I know. That's neither here nor there. It was a choice that I made, and if it cost me some reading time, then so be it. But I'm starting to think now that I might just go ahead and try to stay up all night. I wasn't originally planning to. We'll just see how that goes. But for now, I've got to get this book finished so I can move on to something a little more light and fun. Well, it is almost 3 a.m. here in Florida, so I think I am still in hour 19, and it just so happens that the Instagram challenge for this hour is nonfiction, and I just finished my first book for the Dewey's Readathon, and it happens to be a nonfiction book. As you guys know, I've been reading The Founding Mothers by Cokie Roberts, and it has been a really slow read for me. I started it about a week ago, and I have just finished. I even read through the notes and the index just briefly. You know, I kind of skimmed through it to see if there was anything of interest, and I am excited to be done with it. So I have made a fresh pot of coffee, so I've got my coffee cup here. I'm gonna go ahead and stay up a while longer until I just can't stay up anymore. And I have made progress today in both of my audiobooks. I don't have good lighting in here. It's nighttime, and so I don't know if you can see this. The Land of Painted Caves is on. I have it on Play Away, and then in the car today while we were out and about, I listened to Eldest. I still have probably 150 pages in Eldest and a lot left in Land of Painted Caves. So when I get done with Where the Heart Is, which is the next book I'm going to pick up, I have about 173 pages left. I started this also about a week ago, or a little less than a week ago, and I've just been reading about 6 chapters a day, but I missed yesterday. So this is the next book I want to finish. Then I am looking forward to getting back into it now, even though I'm a little sleepy. I didn't let myself read it at all during the day because I really wanted to get that finished. So now I'm back to this. Well, it is a little after 5 a.m. I have just a little less than 3 hours left in Dewey's 24-hour readathon, and I am still awake and still reading. Since my last check-in, when I had finished Founding Mothers, I picked up Where the Heart Is, and I read 7 chapters for a total of about 65 pages. and I still have just a little over 100 pages left in the book. So I am hoping that I can go ahead and get this finished up before the end of the readathon. If I don't fall asleep, I should be able to. That's a big if, though, because I am starting to get a little bit tired. But I just wanted to check in and let you know that I am still awake at 5:15 a.m. And I'm back. I made it to the end of the Dewey's 24-hour readathon. I finished Where the Heart Is at exactly 8 a.m. on Sunday morning. Now, I didn't read it the entire time from my last check-in. I was getting kind of hungry around 6:30, and my oldest daughter's an early riser. I think my husband was up by that time. So I went ahead and put in my audiobook of Land of Painted Caves and listened to that while I cooked breakfast, and then went back to reading Where the Heart Is. So for the Dewey's 24-hour readathon, I finished Founding Mothers and Where the Heart Is, and I made some progress in The Land of Painted Caves by Jean M. Auel, and I made some progress in Eldest by Christopher Paolini. Now, I have to admit to you, right now as I'm filming this, it is not 8 a.m. on Sunday morning. At 8 a.m., the point that the readathon was over, I had to get up, get dressed for church, do some things to help my kids get ready, and I just couldn't do this last check-in, and my husband was up, but by that point everyone was up, and I just felt self-conscious to try to do a video in the middle of everything. So it is now Tuesday morning. So April is over. I did go ahead and finish Eldest. I had really wanted to finish it by the end of April, and I'm still counting it as an April read, but I didn't finish it up actually until yesterday, May 1st. But on Goodreads, I'm going to mark it done on April 30th. Because I read the majority in April, and on April 30th, for some reason, instead of reading the last 100 pages of this, I picked up another book just randomly and started reading, I guess just for a break. So it would have all evened out, and that particular book I'm not even going to put on my currently reading. I just picked it up and started rereading it. It was something I'd read before, and I'm not even going to count that. I'm going to just say on paper that I finished Eldest, because it would have all evened out anyway if I had gotten it done. So now, but I have gotten it done now, and I'll talk about it a little bit more in my April wrap-up. So the only one of these four that is not finished is The Land of Painted Caves. I'm listening to it on audio playaway from the library, and I will just keep on slugging through this. It's a very slow read. It's a gigantic book, and here's Sweetie, my kitty, who wants to see what I'm doing. And so I'm really excited. Now, my stats, and really for this readathon, I didn't read as much as I had hoped to. I've told y'all before, I am really a slow reader. Out of the Founding Mothers book, I read 133 pages, and a lot of that was notes and index, which I just kind of skimmed through. I only had 52 pages of text left when the readathon started. It took me over half of the 24 hours just to read that, because it was very slow going. I had a little less than half of Where the Heart Is left to read, and I had read it before, so it went a little faster, and it's just a great book. So I read 173 pages to finish that. And then on audio, the page equivalent, I read 40 pages on audio of this book. And then of Eldest, I listened to the equivalent of 67 pages during the readathon. That makes a total of 534 pages in 24 hours. And actually it was 22 hours, because I did not get started until the beginning of the third hour. And during the readathon, I kept up pretty well with one of the Instagram challenges. I did all the hourly challenges for the IG readathon and the Fig Thistle challenge. So I did all 24 of those, and did a couple of tweets, and also took my daughter Katie to a birthday party, and we were out a good portion of the day. I did try to always keep my audiobook going during the times that I couldn't actually sit down and read. So I think I did pretty good, and I'm really excited that I finished 2 books and made good progress in 2 more. So If you did the Dewey's 24-hour readathon, tell me how you did, or send me a link to your video if you have a wrap-up video. So that's all I have for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.